Just a quick review. You've taken your notes on space, making things look further away or closer. You've got some atmospheric perspective notes. That's what this is, plus your practice rocks. Then you did a practice session with some mark making with a pen. That's what we're going to be using for this assignment. I found this picture. As you're looking for pictures, you need to have something that is not just land. We are doing landscapes because we're making things look further or closer. I want to look for layers. I want to see a foreground, a middle ground, and a background way back here. So you want to make sure that you can delineate layers, because as you're working, if you can't do that, it's going to be really hard to do this. You also want to make sure that you have something, not just a bunch of land. You want to have something to look at. For instance, here's a student sample. A lot going on, a lot of different lines. The student really explored lines and patterns. But right here, your kind of eye is drawn. Okay, but there's a lot to look at in this picture, little buildings, but right here is a kind of a focal point. This person chose this piece, and if it were just the land without the building or the tree, I would say, no, you can't do that. But the building and the tree give us something to look at. Okay, so you want to keep some interest. Now you notice there's different kinds of marks, all kinds of different marks here. Just like you practiced in your notes, a lot of different marks here, dots and patterns and lines and crisscrosses. And here's another one where there's a variety of marks. This making the shadow or the silhouette of those trees back there, some scratchy lines for the mountain. Notice that mountain's not outlined. It's just these values right here create the edge of the mountain. Here's some dots, here's some lines, here's some horizontal lines, here's some squigglies, here's some dashes. So all the things that you practiced in that video is what you're going to apply here. So I'm going to start by sketching this very, very quickly. So I don't need to do a lot. I'm going to move this up. You might not be able to see it. I'm going to start and kind of figure out where that foreground is. So I've got this foreground, and then I've got these here. Just sketching in lines. Can you see the lines? I'll make them a little darker. Now I want to kind of focus in on that barn. The back of it goes down like this. I'm drawing a little darker than you need to, because I want you to, it's a kind of a wrinkly barn. I want you to see what I'm doing. And this little, they call that a shed roof, when the roof comes out like this. And then he disappears behind those weeds. And I have a window. I'm just kind of sketching in the basics. And then the top of the barn, see there's that line, and then the top of the barn, whoops, there's that line, and then the top of the barn is here, which is what I'm drawing next. And I'm exaggerating that falling down barn look. Okay, so he's hiding back there. And then I've got my land way back here. That's way back here. Kind of see where it comes up above this lip of the barn. And then I have another layer right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, with some fence posts in there, and then a little tree. Not going to worry about that line. Now I've got all these trees up here, and I'm just going to see them as shapes, or just sketching in. There's a layer up front here, and all that is trees. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit, and then start working. You see the layers? Okay, the foreground layer, the middle ground layers, this is kind of, and then the background is way back here. So now I'm going to apply those marks to this. So the next video that you watch is just a speed up version of me drawing this.